Hello. Hello there. Hello, hello. Hello again. Share it, teachers. Teachers around the world. And those of you who are not Share It teachers yet, but possibly you may become, who knows. This is Sarah Hillyard tuning in from Buenos Aires, Argentina. This is my third Facebook Live that I'm going to be doing today. It's a beautiful sunny day here in Buenos Aires. So it's lovely to be here doing this on this beautiful day. Excited to be seeing who will be joining me today. And if you're tuning in, let me know where you're tuning in from. It's great to be building up this beautiful community of teachers, with a lot of you sharing your ideas under the posts, sharing your thoughts with posts as a springboard. So it's lovely to have you, and I hope you can join me today. So welcome to my third Facebook Live today, which is about communication games. So if you're joining me live, please let me know where you're tuning in from. And remember, you can ask any questions as I go along, and I will try and answer them today. Or if you're going to be watching them later, if you're going to be watching the replay later, you can also ask questions in the comments, and I will be answering them as soon as I can. Hey Eleni, thanks for joining me. Lovely to have you. Let us know in the chat, in the comments, where you're tuning in from. Lovely to have you. Okay, so I'll just start with a little anecdote. I'm going to tell you a little anecdote. You know, I'm lucky enough to have a job in which I need to observe lots of lessons. And when I do, I sometimes find teachers who do activities like, I'm wearing a white blouse with black spots, black trousers, and I'm wearing my black boots today. What are you wearing today? And learners are expected to say something like, I'm wearing a yellow t-shirt, blue jeans, and red tennis shoes, or their uniform, but probably they will be asked to come in something different that day. When I have a feedback session after the observation, I ask the teacher, what was the aim of the description of clothes activity? And this teacher answers, it's a speaking activity for my students to express themselves and communicate about what they're wearing. Fine. They are speaking. They are talking, yes. But is it really communicative? Are they really communicating anything? Really communicative? Is there anything you're communicating if the other person can see exactly what you're wearing? And there is no real reason to communicate it anyway. I can see it. Why would you even want that information? Perhaps I would ask, where did you buy your clothes? Because I like them. Or who gave those clothes to you? Or do you have lots of spotty blouses or lots of spotty clothes? Do you like spots? Those questions would be communicative because I don't know the answer to them. But not what you're wearing. I can see it. I know what you're wearing. So a real communicative activity needs to communicate something. In real life, there is a reason for us to communicate things. We want to request something. We want to make a query. We want to solve a problem. That gives us a reason to communicate. So it makes sense in the classroom to also make that happen. There needs to be a reason, there needs to be a purpose, it needs to be meaningful. So the best communicative activities for me are the ones that contain what we call an information gap. There is something we don't know. I need to use this language for a reason, to ask a question or to answer a question or to get information or to request something or to solve a problem. There is a gap that I need to fill. That's why we call it an information gap. And this does not happen when you're describing the clothes you're wearing to someone who can see what clothes you're wearing already. It is only a controlled language exercise, really. That's all. So how do you feel about this? I'd love to know. How do you feel about it? Are you an information gap fan like me? Let me know in the comments. And I would add one more factor for a communicative game to reach my list of favourites. Apart from an information gap, for me there is another factor for the communication game to reach my list of favourites, and that would be pictures. I love activities with pictures or picture prompts or pictures as springboards. What do you think? Pictures yes or pictures no? What do you think? So here are 3 of my favourite communication games with both an information gap and the use of pictures. Let's see if you like them too. Let me know in the comments if these are games that you play, that you like or perhaps dislike, or would they reach your favourites list like mine or not. So the first one is a memory game played with pictures. So students get into pairs and look at either a poster or a photograph or a picture of a scene for 30 seconds. So let's say it's this. Okay. We've got a picture of a scene there. It's a farm scene. And so they will look at the scene together in pairs and say things like the bear on a tractor, pigs, 2 pigs, a goat carrying milk, a baby goat, that's a kid. The kid is running. Oh, there's a squirrel here carrying apples, it seems like. So they will be describing the picture together first. So that is already some language practice there, but it's not communicative yet. Okay, so first they're looking at it. They look at it for 30 seconds as they describe it, or a minute, as long as you feel that they will need, and then they cover the picture or put it down. Okay, now they can't look at it again. And now what they're going to do is you're going to give them some cards, or so it could be word cards or picture cards. And I just made it very simple to show you today, but it could be something much better than this. And they take turns. So pairs, student A and student B. Student A takes one of them. It says bear. So student A asks student B, what was the bear doing? And student B, it was driving a tractor. Student B takes a card for student A to answer. Oh, the kid, the baby goat. What was the kid doing? And student A says, it was running. And so then they turn over the picture once they both had their chance to say what they remember from the picture, and they check. Yes, the bear is driving the tractor and the kid is running. Yay, excellent, good job. So they give a high five because they've done well remembering. And if they answer correctly, they keep their card. They always like keeping their cards, don't they? So they can keep their card if they answered correctly. Let me know in the comments where you're tuning in from if you're joining just now. This is my first communication game that I enjoy a lot. And I'm going to tell you now why I like this game. Well, first of all, I like this game because you're using pictures. Pictures are visual. They help learners focus. Second, there's a challenge. You need to try to remember something. And this is actual real life challenge, because how many times do we come across a situation in which we see something, but then we have to make huge effort when we want to remember it? We want to remember something about it. So it's basically a life skill to observe, to concentrate on something, to remember something, and then check, because you want to check as well, because sometimes you're not right, sometimes you're wrong. So it's good to check as well. So also, of course, learners are interacting, asking and answering questions. They're playing in pairs, so they're not exposed to the whole class just yet. And this helps a lot in gaining confidence. confident and becoming risk takers in language learning situations. So pair activities are great too. So if you've just joined me, say hi in the comments, tell us where you're tuning in from. We're talking about communication games today. So far I've explained a memory game using pictures, my first game today. Remember, if you have any questions or anything you would like to comment, you can always use the comments below. I'm happy to answer any of your questions. Okay, and my second game today is called 3 questions. Children get a picture to look at in pairs, okay, like this one. They look at the same picture in pairs. Student A chooses an animal without saying which it is, they just think about it. And student B only has 3 chances to ask questions to guess the animal. Okay, so they've got 3 chances. They put 3 fingers up and start asking. Does it have big ears? The other student says, yes, it does. Does it have a small nose? No, it doesn't. Is it, this is my last chance. Is it a cat? No, it isn't. Oh, or yes, it is. Yay. Okay. So you've got 3 chances to guess it. Probably the first 2 are going to be questions about the description of the animal. Does it have big ears? Does it have a small nose? And the last one, you'll have to risk it. You'll have to risk it because that's the last one and you need to guess what it is. So the first 2, you're going to ask about the description, and the last one, you risk. The important thing in a game like this of course is a very simple game. This is a level 1 game. So it's very simple language, simple questions and answers, but not necessarily because they seem simple to us, will they be simple to those level 1 students. So it's really important that when you demonstrate, you help them notice the pattern in the dialogue. Does it have? Does it have? And the answer is either yes it is or no it is. Does it have? Does it have? And the answer is yes it does or no it doesn't. And the last question is going to be, is it a or is it the? Because you want to risk it there. And the answer isn't going to be yes it does or no it doesn't, like these 2. It's going to be yes it is or no it isn't. Okay, so you want to elicit all this information before you start, because it's not simple for a level 1 student. It is simple in your mind, but you need to make sure that this is a little bit challenging, but not too challenging. So help them out here. They're only learning. You want to scaffold nicely. So elicit before they start. Otherwise, they'll be making all kinds of strange grammatical formations. Things like, is it got a nose? Or does it is a cat? And things like that. So make sure these are clear. Write the words, write the sentences, the questions and the answer possibilities on an SOS section on your board, a help section on your board, so that they can refer to it if they need it, okay? You're not testing them. They're just doing a communicative game here, okay? Ask them how they know they should answer yes it does or no it doesn't, or yes it is, no it isn't. Help them make the connection with the question. Tell them, listen to the question. If I ask, does it have? The answer has to be yes it does or no it doesn't. And if I ask, is it? The answer has to be yes it is. Is it? Yes it is, or no it isn't. Okay. So hit like down here if you like the game, or if you're enjoying this live, or if you're watching the video, watching the replay, and tell me why you like this game, if you do. And I'll tell you why I like this game while you have a little think about that. First of all, we're using pictures again. Pictures help to keep things in your mind. The picture can be anything. It could be, again, the poster we used before, that it's a picture dictionary, really. It could be a picture dictionary, it could be a poster. It could be any picture you've got. It doesn't have to be that one that I showed you first in the book. Second, there's a kind of race against yourself where you only have 3 opportunities. Okay, I've asked one, I've asked another. Oh, this is the last chance. Oh, I'll have to risk it. But it's good, it's a game. Third, there's another life skill involved. You need to tolerate the frustration of getting it wrong if you do. Learn to live with mistakes. It's just a game and it's okay. And again, learners are interacting, asking and answering questions in pairs with an information gap in a safe place where they can grow their confidence. But always get them to think of the language they need beforehand, so they can really play it as a game. If they have too many language difficulties, it will ruin the game for them. Okay, so they need to be able to refer back to the SOS board or the help board if they need to. And my third and last communicative game today is called What's the Same, What's Different? It's not exactly spot the differences. It's actually quite the opposite, really. It's more of a spot the similarities. In this game, students are in pairs and they have the same picture. They both have one picture there. It's the same picture, but with different items that are missing. So it's the same scene, but different items that are missing. So 2 pictures that are basically the same. One of the pictures has some items while others are missing, and the other has other items while others are missing. If you put the 2 pictures together, you'll get the complete picture. Get it? Okay. So they need to work together to determine what is in each picture using language like, there are some cows on my farm. Are there any cows on your farm? Student B, no there aren't, or yes there are. So it could be the farm or it could be the market, and have something like this with some fruits and some vegetables. Some of them are there on that side and some of them are on that one. So they're the same picture, you see, but with slight differences. In some of them, in this one, the potatoes are missing, but in the other one, the potatoes are there. In this one, the avocados are missing, but in the other one, you've got avocados. So you've got some that are missing in one and some that are actually the same. So the ones that they have to end up discovering are the similarities. They have to find those similarities, which will be the apples. There aren't apples in this one or in this one. And the carrots. There are carrots and there are carrots in this one. But all the others are different. Okay, no cucumbers on one, cucumbers on the other. Potatoes in one, no potatoes in the other. Okay. Hi Nana. I can see you're coming to watch this live. You can say hi in the comments and tell me where you're tuning in from. This is another communicative game where they have to find out what is in the other picture. It's not necessarily spot the differences, it's more of a discover the similarities, because those two similarities were the ones that they wanted to find out, and they're using language like there are some, are there any, yes there are, or no there aren't. And they want to discover the same ones. You could give this a little twist if you want, by having children draw their scene and make their own little scenes that are slightly different. It's the same, but it's slightly different. So let's say it's the farm rather than the market. Okay, so what you're going to do is on the board, you're going to draw a simple sketch of a farm, something that your students can also draw. So it doesn't have to be anything difficult, just something very, very easy. Okay, this is me drawing. I'm not good at drawing, but I'll do my best. Okay, so here we have the barn. So I can teach my students these words as well as I do it. And I'm going to draw the fence. that goes all along so that the animals on the farm can't run off. There's the fence. Okay, this is my farm, as simple as that. It doesn't need to be anything difficult. And then I'm going to divide it into sections. So I might have section 1 over here. I'm going to have a section 2 over here on the farm. And I'm going to have a section number 3 over here. I'm just giving it shapes, but it doesn't have to be full of shapes. It could just be divisions, just lines going down. But I do it with dotted lines so that they can tell the difference between the main scene and the spaces that I'm giving them, these little sections that I'm doing. So you give them a few minutes to copy the simple picture. Simple picture, draw a barn, draw the fence, and then the 3 sections need to be the same, okay? Now what you want to do is ask them to draw 2 of these. So on one piece of paper, they can draw 2 of these scenes, okay? Just quick. Give them a timer, make sure the bomb explodes when the time's finished or whatever, or rub off a picture on the board as the time is finishing so that they know they have to hurry up. So that they've got 2 pictures of a farm with those same divisions, okay? Then what they're going to do is get into pairs, and what they're going to do is, without their friends seeing what they're doing, they're going to draw the farm animals in these spaces. So for example, 3 cows, nothing perhaps, and 4 horses, whatever. They don't have to be incredible pictures. Make sure they understand that as well. They make their drawings, they're going to be different, okay? And they're going to be looking at their own pictures and asking their friends, okay, what they want to do is find out what their friend has drawn in their farm. So are there any cows in section 1, for example? And their classmate will say, no, there aren't. Are there any horses in section 1? Yes, there are. How many horses are there? 3. So they draw what their friend is telling them on their empty farm. Okay, they draw 3 horses. They keep on asking, are there any pigs in section 2? No, there aren't. Are there any sheep in section 2? Yes, there are. How many sheep? 2. Okay, 2 sheep. So they draw 2 sheep. And then what they want to do is compare the pictures, see if they got them, if they're the same or not. And that's always fun for students, because they like that comparing. Oh, let's see if you did it. Let's see if you did it. Oh, yeah, it's quite similar. Yes, it's quite similar. You drew the horses very big. Yeah. So that when they're comparing their pictures, they quite like that usually. And so I'll tell you why I like this game. Again, it's pictures. Remember the first way of playing it, where we looked at the market. Okay, the first way of playing, the first alternative. They're using pictures. The game is great because there is an information gap. It ignites curiosity. What have you got in yours? What is different to mine? What is the same? I wonder what you've got in your picture. And at the end of the game, they're curious to see what their partner's picture looks like. If you're doing the drawing mainly, you know, that they'll be curious here as well to see if they got it right or not. But if they're drawing it, I think it's even more powerful because it's their own drawings, and they're really curious to see what their partner's picture looks like and compare 2 pictures. So furthermore, the students are interacting, they're answering questions in pairs with an information gap, without feeling anxious, not having to be exposed to the whole class, just in pairs in a safe environment where they can grow their confidence. It's always good to have that language on the board or somewhere where they can refer to it. Don't forget about that. So it can be a game, and you're not interrupting them all the time to ask them to use that language that you want them to use. So anyway, you can find these and many more games in the awesome Sharebook that comes with the Share It course. These are all interactive and communicative activities with pictures, with information gaps, which I love. Those are my 2 factors for excellent communication games. What more do you want? Use these that I've presented to you today, or any other communicative activities that you like, because the more your learners interact with one another without feeling under pressure, the more they will be able to build their confidence and be ready to perhaps start using communicative activities more as a bigger group or as a whole class, but start small with pairs so they don't feel that they can't take risks, or they don't feel like they're making mistakes in front of other people. So they're in their pairs. It's easier for them to do these sort of communicative activities at first until they get used to them. So let them get comfortable using the language, and then they will succeed in speaking activities that mirror the type of language used in authentic communication. Do you agree? So I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Let me know which games have reached your list of favourites, either these or others. So these were number 1, the memory game with pictures. Number 2 was the 3 questions game. And the third one was what's the same, what's different, which is a more of a discover the similarities, and the drawing one, which is a variation of that last one. So let me know which games have reached your list of favourite communication games. Could be these, could be others, and let us know about it so we can learn from you too. Thanks a lot for watching, and goodbye for now.